What is up, people? We were back with episode 2 of To the Baja. Today, again, we have Mr. National Champion Theo Pinson in the house,
in the
host
building,
with the most,
in the building,
and we have the NBA trainer. Again, like I said, if you came through Dallas and became a pro, he definitely trained you. And of course, we got me, your host, Cameron Wilkerson. We're back again with episode 2. We are getting straight to the Baja, but before we do, just letting you know, we do have NBA headlines coming up, talking about the Cup, a fan segment, and we have Justin Jackson and Eric Ebron coming on for the NFL and the college basketball segment. But since we're done, let's go ahead and pass off to my brother, Theo Pinson.
First and foremost, I want to say welcome back to our live segment of To the Baja. Once again, we want to thank everyone tuning in. We appreciate the love. We're only going to get bigger and better. Also, shout out to my boy Ray. He's out there in New York for the Knicks. What they call it? Shit? Alumni get together. Hey, listen, I played there too, so I don't know why the fuck I ain't there. But we're gonna move on from that. Y'all know how we get started here on To the Baja. We talk about everybody who's getting to the Baja. First and foremost, my former teammate. Speaking of the Knicks, my guy, R.J. Barrett. He has been cooking. I mean, getting to every spot he wants to, playing at an unbelievable pace. And this is one thing I didn't know he could do. The motherfucker can pass. He's been passing the ball and making plays. And honestly, I might be going out on a limb, and I don't think I'm too crazy. He's playing at all-star level right now. He really is. I mean, he's dominating. He's controlling the team. He is the guy for the team and doing everything he's wanting. And they've been in pretty much every game. They haven't been getting their ass kicked. They just trying to figure out how to finish in their young group. What you think, T?
Yeah, I think they're really good at home. I think they struggle on the road.
Yeah.
I think, RJ needed a new fit, with Toronto and players, they feed off confidence. And right now, RJ is extremely confident in everything that he's doing. He's great in transition. But you got Scotty Barnes and Scotty's not a scorer. Scotty wants to try to set people up. He's one of those type of guys, which allows RJ to kind of just do his thing.
Yeah.
But this is the best stretch of RJ Barrett's career, and it's not even close.
Yeah. You could just tell the maturity of it though.
Yeah.
He's playing at a high level, and I think the biggest thing for guys when they take their next step is that pace. His pace is on a different level right now, where it looks like he's figured it out.
Yeah.
And you talk about Scotty Barnes. It's one of those things where it's like he's kind of like the connector to me. Like he keeps everything connected, and it's not really much. It's not many guys. What are you, 6'9"?
Yeah,
6'9" point guard that can control, see the floor, and RJ can just do his thing now and score. And I think that's been a different level. I thought about this as we were talking about it. Scotty Barnes, player comp. What's your boy name? Cooper Flag. Is that crazy? Cooper could shoot it better though.
See, I think that's a good comparison. I think this is what everybody has to remember. We'll talk about it later with Cooper Flag. The kid's 17 years old.
That's sick.
That's crazy.
Sick work.
So the only thing to me that's missing with like Cooper's game is the jump shot.
Yeah.
Right? His three consistency, and then he doesn't understand his spots yet.
Yeah.
And so there's still elevation in his game. So think about what he's doing with that. And then, you go to Scotty. Scotty's kind of starting to develop that three.
Yeah.
Scotty's defensive versatility is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that. I like that comparison. The more I watch Cooper, the more I like him.
Yeah, for sure. Just to finish with RJ, I think the thing with him is a new beginning and a fresh start, and he's back home. Honest to God truth, how do you feel? Do you give the keys to, you have to give the keys to somebody, right? Do you give the keys to Scotty or do you give it to RJ? For me, I feel like you give the keys to RJ, in my opinion. Only reason I say that is because if he continues to go at this pace consistently, he has to have them. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you on that, because the reason why Toronto's losing a lot of close games is because they're trying to find that true closer. RJ's averaging 37 and 6 over his last 3 games. The proof is in the pudding. So I'm saying, if they can pair Scotty with a true closer like that, they'll win a lot more games. Like you said, they're playing very good close games.
And this is doing it without Bruce Brown, Manuel Quickly.
I know.
And that's still going to be the tough part because Quick is a scorer. When he comes back in, where do those shots? His shots are going to go down. So how does that?
I think Quickly's got to change into not change. You don't change Quickly's game, but can he become, more? I come off ball screens like we talk about, like gravity, like Coach is going to say, man, when he comes off that ball screen, you got to be there. Put him in those ball screens with RJ Barrett. Put him in, short roll situations with RJ on the weak side. You got Scotty in the short rolls, and now you're almost playing that 3-man game and reading and putting guys where they're great at. Yeah. Right? And Scotty's a great passer. He sees the game, I think, at a high level. He's willing to pass. RJ's a scorer. And RJ is starting to score easier because now he's starting to pass it a little bit better. Yeah. So I think it's just about fit, knowing guys' roles, and doing it that way.
For sure. And it's a real fine line. And I say this very vaguely. Like I'm comparing them, but I'm just saying they have the potential to get there. You look at Boston and you look at Toronto, they're sort of set up kind of the same way. You got the young core that can build together. You got a young star, Scotty. You got a young star in RJ. You can have Quick I believe Quick, you just be the 6-man. You come in and you take over as the scoring wise off the bench. You got Podol, what is it, Podol? Yeah, one of the two.
Utah guy.
And you got Bruce Brown. You got a lot of guys who you can play different ways. You know what I'm saying? If you can put them in different spots, just think about if RJ's getting downhill, he dump it down to Scotty in the short dunker, and he's making the play off of that after we talked about before we got on here. It could be a different mindset out there in Toronto. I know I get Toronto shit sometimes, but like I said, I think they're doing something special over there. I haven't seen them get their ass kicked in a minute, and I expected them to. So they're competing and they're doing it at a high level. So I shout out to RJ. Keep doing your thing, my boy. I'm proud of you.
That's a great pick. Next we have Tyler.
MVP.
Yeah.
Nikola Jokic. I don't know what else we got to say about this man.
It's tough.
Averaging for the season a triple-double, and not like close to a triple-double. He's like surpassing triple-doubles. Yeah. But this is his ability to pass. Guys really do a great job cutting off him. He's shooting. This is his splits: 56 from 2, 50 from 3, and 90 from the free throw line. And I don't know if anybody's ever done that, but that's insane while averaging plus 30, right? Yeah. Plus 13 rebounds and plus 10 assists.
To give you exact stats, he's averaging 32, 12, and 8 over the last 3 games. Exactly that, yeah.
Right. So he's played bad the past 3 games.
Yeah. Right? below his average, yes, exactly.
Correct.
That's actually sick work. Yeah. The scary part about it, and after playing against him for some years, there's no coverage. There's no coverage that you can throw at him.
Is he the smartest player in the NBA?
Oh, that's tough.
I
Bron's still
got Bron, yeah.
Bron's the smartest.
I'm not.
He's
Bron's
the
smart.
How smart he is.
Right, but I'm saying in their Bron. Right, 5 years ago, you can't
take Bron out. Yeah, other than Bron, yes. Yeah, he's the smartest player in the NBA, and it's not close.
Yeah,
it's not close because he truly sees everything before everyone else does.
Yeah,
you can throw 2 at the ball. It's like cool. You throw 2 at the ball, but then you're giving him everything. You're giving him the answers.
Yeah,
it's like all right, we'll take A, B, C, and D. All right, we'll take away D. We know it's not down, but you're giving it's insane. There's no concept for it.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, oh, most teams now I'm like, oh, we want Jokic to beat us. He's gonna have to give him 50. He can do that.
Yeah.
No doubt.
He can do that every single night if he really wants to. He can give you 50.
Yeah.
How's he having the best season of his career?
Because he's that good. And I think you have, Jamal Murray it's like he's in and out.
Yeah.
So I think Nikola has had to dominate more than he has in the past.
He's been saving him.
Yeah, because Gordon was out. But just his ability to make people better, he's as
Best player in the NBA.
Yeah, and I mean, people can look. I love Shea Gilgeous.
Yeah. No.
But like, I just don't like his. He's so good.
Yeah, Jokic is the best player in the league.
Absolutely. It's no argument.
It's tough. I think it's more magnified now. It's because Jamal Murray's playing so bad.
Yeah.
So he sees the situation. He's like, I don't have my point guard right now, so I have to do more. I have to do a lot more. And you saw what Mike Malone said the other day. He was like, "Oh shit, what do you do when Jokic goes out the game?" He said, "Pray." That's not fucking good.
Yeah.
No.
To call a spade a spade. That's not sustainable, is it?
No, I don't. I think this Denver team will.
That makes sense.
Unless guys get super healthy and guys start playing at like Jamal Murray needs to be playoff Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
And he needs to play at that level for the season, right? And that's the.
They need to move. They need to trade.
I have a question for you though.
Yeah.
Do you believe that Jamal Murray can get back to that level still?
We're gonna talk more about Jamal later.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about Jamal later. But I got one more thing about Jokic. Will he be in the Giannis aspect of we get bored of it? Or are we already there?
Are we already bored of it?
I think we are.
I mean,
I think we low-key are.
I would say bored. We're just becoming numb to it.
Yeah.
We're just becoming numb to it. Because, I mean.
Because if any other player was doing this, I think everybody would be like, it's not even close who the MVP is.
They finna start treating him like Bron when they start just going to start giving it to other people because they don't want to see.
Yeah, I mean, every year he just keeps getting better, and I don't.
It's bad because we talk about getting numb to it. We can name him to the bye player every week.
Yeah.
Yep.
Even on the slow one, he still want to give you 30.
Like I said, he just said that was the stats you just named off was a bad 3 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's below his average.
Below his average. He's averaging like 34 on the season or something like that.
Work.
So yeah.
That's sick work.
And it's his efficient. That's the whole his efficiency. Is so high.
Yeah. Because that last year he wasn't shooting it well. Now he is.
Scared.
It's really not much you can do.
I know he was out there playing with them horses and stuff.
Yeah. Bro, for a guy like that to be doing what he's doing is insane, bro. Insane.
No.
Well, like I said, that's also a great pick. But now we got the beard, James Harden. That's my pick for the week. He's averaging 31.2 points a game, 5 rebounds a game, 9 assists over his last 4. I mean, this is to me even more polished version of James Harden than he was in Houston. He's making great decisions. He's getting his teammates involved. He's making everyone on the floor around him better, and he's still getting his though. He's still getting his, and he's doing it so fluently and efficiently. Like, look at this. Come on.
I've been very impressed with James' game this year. He's been very efficient.
Mm-hmm.
He's been very efficient, and like he's so calm out there right now, so calm, and just like everyone's saying he's back to Houston. James Harden. This is better.
It's better.
This seems like a better James Harden to me. And for me, if this James Harden was in, it's just what each team needs though.
Yeah.
It's a difference in each team, and I think I've said this before, and this is why I put stock in the Clippers. When Kawhi gets back, this team will be a force to be reckoned with. One because of James, 2 because of Kawhi, and 3 because of Ty Lue. Ty Lue is one of the best coaches in the NBA.
I agree.
Uh-oh.
He got a face.
Uh-oh.
You know what that means.
Well, I mean, first I'm gonna start off with my boys 40-pieced him last night. Got him up out of it.
That was a bad. It was bad. Norman didn't play.
True.
Get him up out of 40. Norman ain't 40
True.
points. Good.
Yeah.
James Harden's been great. I think the thing I've liked about James is he's actually defending.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he's off ball defending.
Yeah.
Like he's in the right spots. He's taking matchups on. He's not playing defense like he did in the past.
Mm-hmm.
And the other guy that I think we need to give credit to, graduated from my high school, Jeff Van Gundy.
Yeah.
Defensively, I think they have gotten a lot better. Now my question with the Kawhi thing is just when
does
we
he go
see
play?
like
Yeah,
if Kawhi doesn't come back, I think this Clippers team that we are seeing is as good as they will be all year, right?
Yeah.
And I think at 20 games, 25 games, you'll see And I think we've already started to see it. I think the Lakers are showing who they are, right?
Yeah.
I think the Clippers are one of those teams like this. And then you'll have the teams that ascend, right?
Yeah.
I think the Knicks will ascend. I tell you, I think Minnesota's starting to figure it out. You know, guys are starting to make shots. I think they're starting to say, okay, this is where Drew likes it.
Yeah.
This is how we, you know.
Yep.
So my question is, does Kawhi come back?
Yeah. I saw a little clip that he was working out the other day. Looked good. He looked good. Hey, listen, my thing, I'm biased.
Oh, God.
I don't give a damn. I love Kawhi. I think Kawhi is a stuff, and everyone does. I'm just with everybody else. We need to see the motherfucker on the court. Yeah. That's all we want to do, and I get that. But when he does play, and that's always the question, when he does play, he is arguably the best player on the floor, offensively and defensively.
See, I need to see it though, because we haven't seen him be that best player on the floor really in years.
It's at least 3. Yeah.
No, I would say before he got hurt against Phoenix, he was the best player on that floor.
But then
in the
playoffs. How does that change their pick and roll game with James Harden?
1,000%. That's the only question.
Right.
Because right now,
spacing.
He wants James. Ty's like, I need you to be Houston James Harden.
Right.
When Kawhi gets back, how much does that change?
Right.
And that's the big question. Like,
yeah.
Is Norman going to get the same pin downs coming off to his right hand like he is when Kawhi's there? Norman's been hooping.
He's great.
Norman's really the savior of that team right now. I mean, he's probably averaging like 25.
He's a great, he's played that second punch role.
He's been that good for a while, though.
See, I loved him in Toronto.
Yes.
There was teams I thought that should have went and got him.
Yes.
Because he's that good at any guards. He's athletic.
Yep.
He's just a basketball player.
Great ball player. I think that's it. Good for me.
Quick honorable mention, though. I was close to also picking Cade Cunningham. He's just got back from injury not too long ago and has already been averaging about 24 points a game. Detroit has lost, but he's also got them a lot closer in games, and I think he'd be a player to watch for next time.
Shout out Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Shout out Dallas.
I love Cade's game. It's just tough, bro. Like, he's in Detroit. Every time you feel like they've turned the corner,
I know.
There's some shit happens, and then you're just like, damn, it's just Detroit. And the thing about it too, Ty said something on the last stream. He was like, I'm not watching the Milwaukee-Detroit game. I didn't even turn to it.
No.
And I was the one defending it, but I didn't want to. I didn't want
nothing turns the needle.
No. Cade's as good as one of those young talents that we have in the league.
Yeah.
I don't think people really understand how good Cade Cunningham really is.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
it's one of those things where you're not going to.
I worked Cade out in 5th grade.
Uh-huh.
And it was like, oh.
Okay.
You know, just came with another kid. Hey, there's this kid coming. He's pretty good. And it's like, what's your name, young man?
Yeah.
You know, one of the, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
And you knew.
And so, yeah, shout out to Dallas, Texas. You know, Ashton. You know.
Yeah.
It's always good to see Dallas people doing well, man.
That's right.
I hope they turn the corner. You know, I hope they do. They got some talent over there.
They do.
They got talent. It's just fucking Detroit.
And they're young.
That's really all you gotta say.
They're young. It's just Detroit, bro.
Well, segueing our NBA headlines. Theo, you spoke briefly that you also thought that the Magic weren't ready. They kind of went out and proved it. Mm-hmm. Let's talk Knicks versus Magic.
Knicks versus Magic. NBA Cup game. Luckily, they both still made it. I mean, it just really showed what I was ultimately saying. I think it's just 2 different levels. It's not like they don't have the talent to do it. I just don't think they've seen it or been a part of it. This was playoff atmosphere.
Yeah.
The Knicks knew what they were playing for. The Knicks treated this like damn near a playoff game because money's on the line.
Facts.
The Magic, it kind of looked like the Magic just thought, oh, this is like a regular, nah, bruh.
Nah.
Like, they came after this like, oh, there's a championship to be won. And you got to think, everyone gets on them about being the Nova Knicks. Them motherfuckers have won their whole life.
Yeah.
They know when the situation rises, they rise above, and it clearly showed a different level. OG Anunoby, champion. Jalen Brunson, bona fide all-star. Karl Anthony Towns is also having one hell of a season right now. And Mikal Bridges figuring out. And it made me. He is the key. Like I said, y'all made a great point. The Knicks are on the rise, bro. They're on the rise. They get Mitch Robinson back, and he looks good. They're gonna be scary to deal with. And the Magic just need a little bit. They need a little bit more.
I think the Magic ran into, I mean, like you said, playoff atmosphere, Madison Square Garden.
That's different.
Is the arena.
It's different.
Especially like when the Knicks are good, and they ran into a buzzsaw. No Paolo. Right, Paolo helps them in that game because they were struggling getting buckets.
Yep.
And Paolo's a bucket getter, so that's where Paolo fits in. We were talking about the last show about Franz Wagner and that. He needed Paolo.
Yeah, facts.
But Jalen Brunson is absolutely ridiculous.
He's nuts.
Lucky getter, man.
He's nuts.
He's, and Jamal said it. He said, like, there's really nothing you can do with him. Mm-hmm. And that's a tough place to be as a coach. It's a tough place to be when you're on the court, being like, we can do whatever we want, but it's not going to work.
People don't. It's you watch a lot of sports shows and stuff like that, and they be like, "What's wrong with Jalen Brunson?" I'm like, when he figures it out,
it's raps.
And it's not even something you figure out. Once you get your rhythm, he's got his rhythm now. Well, Jamal's right. There's nothing you can do with him.
Yeah, and you see that middle ball screen that they ran with Cat, right? So it's like, what do you do with that when you got over 40%ers in the corners? And like, there's nothing.
Can you play the clip again, Peter? Play the Knicks clip again. I think the amount of people they can go to is different. Yeah. And Cat just changes all that. Right, because the big can't be in. You're late at that point. Yep. Crazy. You're late. What do you do here?
Middle ball screen.
And then you got OG in the corner.
You got two shooters.
Yeah. I mean, OG corner 3 is
crazy. McBride is unbelievable.
And I tell people all the time, was I talking to y'all about Josh Hart? I was talking to somebody about Josh. Josh Hart's one of the best finishers in the NBA right now.
He's insane. Swing steps every time.
He's nuts. And Carl's playing at a high level. Like, what do you?
And bro, they having.
What you do with that?
On their faces when they doing this?
They're
having fun.
Cat makes a difference because there's no help side from a big. All help side would be a smaller guard, like you. I think the biggest thing is what you said, and I didn't even think about it till you said it. They needed Paolo. You needed that other guy to be like, okay, you got it tonight?
Because Paolo is strong. He's like 6'9". I think you can put OG on him.
And
I don't know if OG's quick enough to like. Paolo needs to. That's a playoff atmosphere. In the playoffs, you need your buckets.
You got to have your guys.
You got to have a bucket.
You got to have guys.
So you got to have them.
I definitely agree with that. I agree with that.
Well, going into the game, speaking of Cade, earlier, let's talk about the Pistons versus Bucks. Peter wrote a clip.
Pistons, Bucks.
Number 11, Brook Lopez. Be careful of him. I think he picked the pivot foot up before he put it on.
They're hanging around. Damian Lillard gets right down the middle. 4 for 6 shooting. Yeah. Damian Lillard, the other half of that big back to the big man. On the floor for 8.5 left in the third. Giannis still has
like a playoff game. Detroit's like, oh shit, they not playing tonight. No. This is for some bread. Yeah. So, and they came out there and they took care of business. They did what they needed to do, and that just shows the professionalism of both of Milwaukee, and they've turned the corner. And the role guys are playing a little bit better, and I think that's making a whole lot of difference.
Yeah, and then like you just get into inverted ball screens with you got Dame ghosting.
Yeah.
If you got Giannis handling, like how do you guard that?
How do you
can go Giannis screen. Like there's a lot of things. I think they're starting to figure it out. Mm-hmm. But I still like I said last show, like they just don't push the needle for me right now. And the Hawks showed them last night again. Like they're just defensively. They get put in too many help situations. The ball, they're put in too many closeouts. It's just, I just don't think Milwaukee's what Milwaukee was. You know, I could be wrong, but you know, I think their ceiling is that 5 seed, maybe a 4.
Ceiling 5 seed.
I just don't think they're that good.
What do you think they're missing?
Yeah. What turns the needle for you? What needs?
Look,
is it Middleton or?
I said it when it happened. I said it, I think, on Twitter. The True Holiday Dame Lillard trade made them worse.
Yes.
Dame Lillard is look, we all know Dame, right? Dame time, all that. True Holiday is your point of defense, right? Guards people.
Tone setter.
People. The thing I used to love about Milwaukee is there was never help. They weren't put in help situations.
Yeah.
Right? Now they're getting put in help. People are pulling and people are closing out. Like, you don't want Brook Lopez closing out.
No.
And they're a little bit older.
They're a little bit older, and the way Budenholzer had them playing defense was just, it fit to the line, to the group they had. So they still have that same group, and they're changing how they play defense.
Right.
So when Drew was there and Budenholzer there, their whole thing was, we're not giving layups. We're not giving up layups. You can take all the threes you fucking want, but we're not giving up layups. Now they've changed that, and now it looks crazy.
Yeah, now they're giving up everything.
Now you're giving up everything. So it's like, do you just say, all right, let's just go back to what worked with this group and figure it out some other way with Dame? Or do you, like, that's when they guarded at a high level. When Brook was able to just stay in the paint, protect the paint, and Giannis just stayed in the paint and protect the paint. Yeah. And that's where they succeeded the most. Now they're trying to do a whole lot. Brooks up with the screen, cooked. Yeah.
Yeah, they just get put in too many rotations.
It's too many.
And then
it's too many.
It's just too, like, you saw the Hawks put them in rotations, and like Jalen Johnson again, like, I think he had like 20, 11, and 5.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
they don't win the cup.
You said who?
You said Milwaukee don't win the cup.
Look, you're on the Milwaukee and Toronto. I don't know what it is.
You got stock in them.
Oh yeah, I got stock in them. I don't got stock in Milwaukee though. I got stock in Toronto now.
Oh yeah.
Nah.
I'm not a fan. I think they're middle tier.
Okay. I mean, you gave a good reason, so I give that.
Great argument there. Yeah. Great argument there.
But next, we have Mavs versus Grizzlies. And again, you guys were right.
Shout out my boy Spence.
He was right. That Spence was going to be pivotal for this win, and he came out and proved that. Luka was doing Luka things, but the rest of the cast is what really impressed me. Everyone was doing their part, playing defense. Everyone, at every point in the game, they never thought they were out of the game, even when they're down 15. Yeah. I think that was the big thing, and it was good to see that a team like this had that in them.
It was tough. Big shot right here.
Big shot.
Den Wendell. It's tough because for the Mavs to win this game with an uncharacteristic game from Kai, very impressive. Very impressive to come back. And you're never out of a game when you have stars like that. Right. Because it takes one flurry for them to get going, for it to be a game again. And let's go ahead and call a spade a spade. The Grizzlies tricked that game off.
Without a question.
Yeah.
The Mavs won the game, but the Grizzlies tricked it off big time. One play, Marcus Smart, the ball was going out of bounds. Marcus thought he tipped it. His foot's on the line. Mavs get the ball. Luka airball, and Mavs get the ball back. They score on that play.
Yeah, and then you had the replay review where then they ended up calling a foul.
Yes, calling a foul. Jaren Jackson get free throws.
You get free throws, and then like I think this is why the NBA is the NBA. Like, you look at the environments of these games, like that environment was a playoff environment.
It was playoffs.
Yeah.
And then the really cool part of it was like they had to win by 4, right?
Yeah.
So like those shots became massive.
Massive.
Pivotal.
Yeah. Had to have them.
I just like I keep saying it, man.
You like the cup?
Yeah, I think it's
been good.
I was a hater at first, but I'm a believer.
I think it's been good.
Yeah.
It's brought the intensity of these games more. Like, if it wasn't a cup day, it would have just been another Tuesday.
Yeah, right. Like they have all those scores up top. It's almost like the NCAA tournament feel.
Yeah.
You know, obviously it's not that, but yeah, the Mavs played off their fans, and I said
Memphis helped them.
I said it. They did. I said it last show, but PJ Washington guards Ja down the stretch, right? And PJ Washington gets the and one on the drive.
Mm-hmm.
PJ, you know, he hits a big time three. He has an extra pass to Spencer Dinwiddie.
Yep.
PJ Washington changes the dynamic of that team. That was such a great pickup last year by their front office.
Mm-hmm.
And so I like Dallas. You know, I think Dallas, like you got Luka, man.
Yeah.
You got Kyrie.
Yeah.
But you got role guys that I think understand it.
I think I've said this multiple times, and everybody knows Spencer is a great friend of mine. He's gonna come on the show pretty regularly and talk Mavs hoops and stuff. But he changes everything.
Mm-hmm.
He changes everything because I know everyone's like that was 2 years ago, and he's just shown that he can do it again. When you have three guys that have the capability of getting their own shot and not even getting their own shot, creating shots for others, it changes everything.
Yeah, he can play.
That's why Boston is so good.
Right.
That's why Boston, until they be beaten, nobody's fucking with them.
They're still the best.
Derek White, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Drew Holiday. You have four guys that can create shit. Peyton Pritchard.
He's gross. Gross.
Hey, a lot of teams asking about
And
him.
it's scary in Boston. And that's where that helps. And if Spencer and Najee, and I know Najee's just kind of erratic, but
he didn't even play.
And he didn't even play.
He's
If
sick.
you have that, where your second unit can be Najee, Spence, Kai, and Luka can really rest, and then he has more for the defensive end, it just changes that team.
And I on the flip side of that, I think Memphis is good too.
Yes, Memphis had them beat.
Memphis had.
They should have won that game.
And Memphis, if Memphis can stay healthy, they're good.
It's a good basketball team. I'm telling you, that series would be special.
That's a series I would want to see in the playoffs.
That's a great series right there. And I'm proud of Dallas. I'm looking forward to them playing OKC tomorrow night. That's gonna be special.
Yeah.
That's gonna be special.
Yeah.
Hey, but transitioning, Jimmy Butler has been a lot of trade talks. How do we feel about the idea of Jimmy getting traded?
I mean, this is the whole thing. I think people still think like what I'm watching now is not what I was watching 2 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? He's 35 years old. Okay? And like you say like, all right, you know, I've heard Houston or, you know, Dallas. Like, if I'm those teams, like who am I giving up? If I'm Houston, I'm not giving up any of my young guys.
Yeah.
Like we're playing really well. You know, Jimmy Butler's a stud, but he's 35 years old. So like, how much? Like he hasn't played a lot this year. We know like, you know, his mentality. You know, so does he go into like a Houston and you know
Charge him up?
Yeah, and then who's Dallas giving up? Do you want to mess that up?
Yeah.
They're just starting to figure it out now with the role guys. I don't think
It's Jimmy's averaging 18, 5 and 4 right now.
Right. Tyler Hero's the guy.
Tyler Hero's 20. Shit, Tyler Hero's averaging 24 points.
Yeah, he's the guy.
He's cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy's not going to be there every night. He's not going to play every night. First of all, Miami needs to do something different. We all know that. It's been the same shit for her.
They did something different last night.
What was that?
beat the
They
crap out
beat
of
LA
them.
by 40.
But we all see LA has flaws. They've been having.
They should have just combined the LA teams last night.
Yeah, and it's probably shit. Yeah,
Probably could have been a better game.
probably.
At least cut it 20.
Yeah, they could have instead of 40, 20. Both LA teams got cooked
Got
last
thrashed
night.
last night.
And that's the scary part about LA. Miami can't score.
134 points.
And they put 134 upside your head. That one clip when they threw the ball under the basket and no one reacted, that's a cause for a team meet.
Facts.
Hey, let's bring
It's
this.
a playing hard thing.
Yeah, that's a players meet. Hey, let's bring this shit in.
They were
And I'm
checked out
just
last
playing
night.
that clip.
Yeah.
They were checked
But
out.
back to Jimmy though, like to be honest, the only place it really makes sense, and I don't even know if it fucking makes sense. The Warriors now because they're struggling.
Yeah.
I mean, you try it. You got a little window with Steph and Draymond left. Give it a chance. I mean, they're trying to win now. Steph's not in a rebuilding
So
type of shit.
who do you have to give up though?
You probably got to give up.
Wiggins,
But he's a 35-year-old who will be a
Kuminga.
rental.
He probably got to give up Kuminga.
But I think that's a good because Steph is 34, 35.
Yeah,
So like, how many years does Steph have?
yeah.
You got to kind of. I think you got to kind of play it out.
It's playing out the way it should. I think it's going to be Golden State.
If he gets traded, I think that's where he would go because, like you said, like
It's that time.
yeah, and Golden
The
State is
timing
struggling.
matches up. Golden State.
They need something. They need some type of energy. I think he can
Golden
bring that.
State, but you see like everybody dogs Draymond
He's
and had
important.
Steph and all of them made him better. Yeah, but defensively and connectivity wise and understanding how guys play, Draymond makes them better. If you put Jimmy on that team, they'll automatically get better defensively. I mean, I can't agree more with that. I'm not trading anybody from Houston. If I'm Dallas, I'm not trading.
What are the teams they talking about?
I mean, the top two teams were the Rockets and Mavericks. The Warriors have been mentioned, and that's really about it. I just heard from things that if he does get traded, he may want to come back to Texas, and that's why Houston and Dallas came up. But like you said, I don't think for either one of these teams.
I don't mind Houston. Fuck
I don't
no
think
Dallas.
I don't think. Well, Dallas definitely don't need him.
Dallas don't need them at all.
But who are you trading on Houston?
What do you want?
But I mean, they have a
You're so young.
yeah. You don't know like who's gonna be who yet.
Who would you? You're not giving up Jalen Green, no. But like, I give up.
Like an East.
You give up Jabari Smith?
No.
Yeah.
No.
You wouldn't give up Jabari Smith for why? Who?
I think Jabari Smith made one of the biggest jumps in the league.
He has played well.
He's played really well. He's long guards. He's young. Like he's what 13 years younger than. Jimmy
That's
Butler.
really my question though, because it's like a different level. Like Dallas, you're in the mode. You need to win in the next 2-3.
Yeah, Houston's not.
Houston, you're not. So like,
I'm keeping that together.
yeah, let's keep that together. You're right. It really don't make sense for Golden State because you're like in a now mode, and the team you have now is not gonna win shit.
No, Draymond, Steph.
Yeah,
Right.
So they got 2 or 3 more years. No, Steph got more, but Dre.
There you go. You heard it here first. He's going to Golden State.
Yeah, you heard it here on To the Baja. Jimmy Butler, Golden State.
I like it. Well, next, we know KD is out for at least a week. Will be reevaluated. Probably be out for 2. Who needs to step up? What do we need to see from Devin Booker and Bradley Beal for things to continue the way they're going in Phoenix? We already know that they're like 11-2 with KD and 1-6 without him. What can they do to not stay on that trend?
You can start.
I mean, I think you know, T talked about it last time. Beal also was out some of those games, right?
Yes.
I think what we saw in the fourth quarter of that San Antonio game is what you need to see, right? Booker needs to be that guy, but what we saw from Booker was, he was getting huge numbers when those, when they were out. But Bradley Beal again pulls gravity, makes the game easier on everybody. They just need to hold back. They can't go 1-6, right? They just need to stay. They need to go when he's out. They need to be 50-50.
Yeah.
KG's just. I mean, he's.
Let me help.
That guy.
Let me help y'all. Tonight, in New Orleans.
That's a win.
Yeah, they should get that.
In Miami, toss up. Never know. You got to fight with the streets. Orlando, Jazz.
They should get Jazz.
Blazers, Pacers, Pistons.
So if you can't go 50-50 in those games,
You have issues.
There's a bigger problem.
right?
You got to have Brad and Devin though. It can't be one.
Yeah.
Brad and Devin have to play.
But
Brad and Devin don't have to play against. They don't need both for Blazers or Jazz, but they need both for the others because Orlando's going to try to beat the brakes off you. The Heat, they always going to play hard.
Especially in Miami.
Yeah,
I think you
in
see how
Miami.
that game goes, and you kind of determine
The Pacers,
from there.
I don't know what the fuck going on with the Pacers.
Oh my gosh.
Jesus. Pistons,
We'll get back to them
it's
later.
never really a cakewalk. And then you got Nuggets back to back. You got Nuggets on Monday night, Nuggets on Wednesday night. I feel like he'll be back for that one. Because then at that point, he missed 1, 2,
They're saying,
3,
I think they're
4,
saying 1 week,
5, 6,
reevaluate.
7. He'll miss 7 games before the Nuggets.
They're projecting him to miss around 2 weeks, like 1.5 to 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I think you keep him out for those 7 games, no matter what.
But I agree. You gotta go 500 in those games. At least.
Have to.
At least.
Have to. Well, speaking of the Suns and Booker stepping up, he just hit 15,000 points really quick. Just want to give him his flowers. Do we feel that he is slept on and not talked enough in the league right now?
Yeah, he's been Devin Booker's been slept on since he's been in the league. I mean, the one year when he was with C and with the Suns, Chris Paul, and they made it to the finals was like his coming out party. But then it's like it's been tough ever since. But it's been harder for him because of the exits they've had in the playoffs. I think that's kind of been hindering it a little bit.
And he's had to learn to play with different types of guys.
Yeah.
You play with Chris Paul. He's a point guard. We already know his pedigree. Then you got to play with KD and Bradley Beal.
With no point guard.
He's had to change his game.
Too much.
And I think he's done a great job. But I mean, like when he wants to get a bucket, he gets a bucket.
He gets a bucket.
He's as good as a bucket getter as and I watch a lot of Booker because I think, when I train my guys, Trey Johnson, I think that's a very good comparison.
That is a great comparison,
And his mid-range is nuts. High elevation. He's unselfish. He competes at a high level. And he's there every game.
Yeah.
He shows up. He shows up every game.
Every game. And that's a talent in itself, I guess now. Shit. It's Devin Booker is different breed. He's a different breed and he deserves all the flowers. And I think you just hit upside the head. Like it's more of the different type of roles he's had to take. Not many superstars have to do that. It's you are this, you give us this, and that's who Luka has never had to change.
No.
Luka has always been Luka. Victor Wembanyama, he's just trying to figure out how to play basketball at this point, really.
Yeah.
You got James Harden. He just had to be James, really. KD, everywhere he's went, he just had to be KD.
Right.
And last year kind of was just so different for him because he had to be a point guard too and get Bill and KD shots. That's not Devin. He can. No one's saying he can't do it, but that's not him.
No.
That's why his best version of him is when he had Chris. Now that he has Tyus, when he got somebody that can get him to his spots where he could just run down court, get his breath, come off that pin down, and then give you every type of Kobe footwork at the elbow that you want.
He's got a very easy game. He doesn't have to do too much. I mean, and he's another guy. He's still younger.
Better mid-range Shaair than.
I think me personally,
From a pure mid-range guy,
Yeah.
definitely.
I
He
agree.
elevates higher. He's at a higher release. So we talking about different mid-ranges. So you have your 1-2s, right? Your pull-ups. I'm getting to a spot or like a hop and I elevate.
Yep.
Devin's better at that.
Okay.
Shay's mid-range is like I'm into your frame.
Yep.
I separate and like there's nothing you can do with this.
Yeah.
It's a little bit different. Man, I've always loved Devin Booker's mid-range.
Yeah. It's the way. You're right. It's just the way they get to him.
It's different.
Yeah.
The way they get to him is different. Like Devin's like, I don't want to use running away as the phrase because it seems like timid. It's not space. That he gets to space and elevates where there's not much you can do with it. Shay's like, I don't mind that you're here.
It's the Kobe, Jordan type of mid-range.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of a lot of West Coast teams, where do we think the Pelicans go from here with Zion being out basically indefinitely and BI trade coming probably soon?
I mean, I'm gonna be quite frank. BI get out, see what you get from him, and then you just build off of that.
You gotta get rid of BI because he's a free agent.
Yeah, BI's gone,
and he's prepping for they're prepping for that.
Yeah, BI's gone. That has to be done.
You need picks.
You think they need picks?
I think they need. Yeah, I think they need
a lot,
especially if you can get a pick in this draft.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can get two really good young players.
This is a really good draft.
I struggle with Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson doesn't play.
Yeah.
CJ McCollum has one more year at $31 million. Right? Then the other one is Dejounte Murray has made one of the he's a shell of what he was.
Yeah.
So what do you do with him?
Mm-hmm.
I think you try to get a pick with BI.
Yeah. I think the Pelicans are in a tough spot right now. They're in a very tough spot. I think it's just one of those situations where you just hope you get lucky. And I agree with you. This is a draft that's very rare. Very rare draft. Especially after last year. Last year's draft was crap. Last year's draft was really bad. This year, you get the top 20, you can get really a great role player.
Really good players.
I agree.
And that can develop into something.
And if you're a high enough pick, which they will be right now, if you're drafting in the top 5, 6 in this draft, you can draft a multi-time All-Star.
100%.
And so I think
that bad right now? What are they in the
Pelicans are
they're
4-18
or
what?
Something like that.
But
while
you look that up, guys, we have our NFL analyst coming up at 1 o'clock, so stay tuned as we finish these last few headlines. But the Pelicans are horrible.
The Pelicans are terrible right now. Oh my God! And how the hell? Shout out to my boy Elfrid Payton. How you get 20 assists? My boy EP had 20 assists,
and
they waived him,
and he didn't wave back.
What type of shit is that?
EP's ultimate pro.
Ultimate pro.
He was with you in New York, man. He was,
bro.
He can. I would say this. He's going to help a team. He's going to get picked up, and he's going to help a team.
That was sick work.
He's going to help a team.
That was sick work. I can't even say that.
You can't where I'd like to see EP land? Phoenix. And just you bring him in once, but he'll set guys up now.
Yeah.
And he'll guard you on the other end.
Mm-hmm.
So if
Phoenix would be really good for him.
I like that.
Phoenix would be really good.
But you don't get 20 and 20 and then all of a sudden it's and I know
when's the last time we seen Jose Alvarado play? He stayed hurt.
He's hurt too.
The Pelicans have 5 or 6 guys out right now. They need to do something.
But you have a good wing. I think in Trey.
Trey's nice.
So it's finding a fit next to him.
Hawk, he can shoot the shit up.
And then what do you do with so I think they got certain things. I think they're years away from
having to do something.
Yeah, they got a lot of money problems and shit. Clearly health problems. But B.I. gotta go.
Speaking of health issues, John Morant said he's going to try avoid dunking.
Smartest shit he ever said.
It kind of makes me think of Blake Griffin when he went to the Pistons and really had one of his better years.
Smartest shit he ever said. Smartest shit I ever heard. From the aspect, we need you to play, John.
Yeah,
you're too talented. We know you can dunk, my boy. We know you can punch on anybody. You don't have to try somebody every single time you go to the basket. Be you, be athletic, be available for your team.
Yep.
The best ability is availability.
It is available.
And he changes the dynamic of the Memphis Grizzlies. He said it a couple years ago. I don't worry about nobody in the West, right?
Mm-hmm.
You give off that energy to your team when you're on the court.
Yeah. And
you make that team different when you're out there. Like I told you, they tricked the game off the other day. Memphis is going to be a team to be reckoned with.
I agree. And I think, and you saw it in that game. Like, he was going, he was trying to finish. He was, more into those, 5 to 7 foot floaters. Mm-hmm. And I think you save that for, your playoff. You don't need to be doing that in the first 50 games of the season trying to dunk on people.
Not really necessary.
No, in the playoffs, if it's time to punch on you, we know he can do it. But it's a longevity thing. I think Derrick Rose is a great, shout out Derrick Rose if he would have been the best point guard maybe ever.
Yeah.
I think he's in that Derrick Rose conversation. If he stays healthy, he's gonna be really good, and I think it's smart.
No, very smart. Because all he do is take hard fouls and fall. Yeah. He's not the biggest guy ever, so when you fall, that shit gonna hurt.
Well, again, while we're still on this theme of injuries, Tim Hardaway Sr. had something to say about load management in this year's generation. Peters, go ahead, roll the clip.
It's absolutely terrible. Load management is absolutely terrible. I be talking to folks today, and I said kids don't drink enough milk. They don't walk 2 or 3 miles to school. They don't ride a bike. Everything is that they in the car. Somebody's taking them here, somebody's taking them there. We used to walk 2 or 3 blocks to the court and play, or 5 or 6 blocks to the court and play. We used to walk a mile here, ride a bike 2 or 3 miles to go play here or there. Their bones are not really developing the way they need to develop by staying strong and walking and doing this and doing that to get stronger and drinking milk. They just out there playing like they gonna play, like they ready to play. And then they don't want to do calisthenics. They don't want to do push-ups. They don't want to do sit-ups. They don't want to do all type of other stuff. So that's what's wrong with young kids today.
You got niggas like Zion jumping out the gym. Enough milk now, and they are lazy because they don't walk places. They drive 2 to 3 blocks to go hoop. How do we feel about it, honestly? I mean, it was about load management, but in general, how do we feel about it?
You're outsider. You're outsider.
Yes.
How do you feel about load management when you see it
in the NBA?
Yeah,
I hate it.
Why?
Because your job's to play if you're healthy.
Okay.
Now let's go to LeBron though. And it's funny, me and Drew were talking about this. It's I think the Lakers, those guys, in certain games need to sit their ass down.
Yes.
Because it will benefit winning.
Yeah.
Okay? But talking about, I hate when the old heads go and talk about these young kids. I've had old heads come in my gym and work out. I've been doing this quite a while. I have younger kids that work way harder than they work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's about what you expect from these young kids. Mm-hmm. So stop barking on these young kids. Give them game. You get your ass on the court and do some stuff with them.
Yeah.
Right? Or I could talk all day about how the NBA is oh man, kids, they don't know how to hoop. It's your fault.
Yeah.
You see the product that they're looking at. It's all one-on-one. It's who's the mismatch ISO. So what do you think these young kids watch?
They do the same thing.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So and then they talk about Europeans coming over. Europeans a different game. They're watching 3 seconds. There's action. There's reads. Guys got to make passes. They got to be playmakers. They got to be super skilled. But you are seeing, and my son's in the youth game right now, you are seeing it trickle down. You are seeing kids just sit out games in 5th grade.
No.
Oh yeah. He's not playing this game or whatever. The other issue is that kids are playing, they're playing way too many basketball games with not good basketball games.
Yeah. They're not benefiting him.
No, they're playing football.
Yes.
They playing Ebron sport. They playing football out here.
Yeah.
You like that?
It's trapping. It's hitting kids. We know you can't throw it 20 feet because you're not strong enough.
Yeah.
You know, and then when the game becomes real basketball, what are we teaching these kids? But
I agree. I think it's one of those. If you're healthy, play. I mean, you really realize how much you miss it when you are hurt. Mm-hmm. So like for me, I've been hurt, broke my foot 3 times. If I was available, I'm hooping.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, that's just the competitive nature of me. But that playing basketball the right way, we will talk about that on here.
Yeah.
We will get that across, and we're gonna praise good hoops on here. We're not gonna praise that dumb shit.
And I think the doctors too, like your trainers and all that stuff. To Tim Hardaway Sr.'s point is like Tim probably played through certain knee issues, right?
Yeah.
And he hooped.
Yeah.
Jordan, those guys, and there wasn't like the doctors and these people being like, "Hey man, your knee's swollen, you gotta sit."
Yeah.
Right. So I do hear him on that part, but I think like it's all about like growing the game, and it's I just like the shots keep taking at like youth coaches and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man! Like these dudes don't even get paid.
Yeah. They just out there. They just doing what they've been told, really.
Yeah.
Sick.
Hey, speaking of playing the game the right way and good hoops, why are the Pacers looking so bad this year? I know you spoke on it briefly last time, but why?
What's your take on that? Honestly, and
my take? Because
both of y'all, it don't matter.
I mean, you know, I was a big guy who praised Therese Halliburton. I don't know if it's a lack of confidence because they didn't get off on a hot start like they did last year, so maybe that's wavering them. They're not super young, but they're still like their main guys are still relatively young.
Yeah.
And I think they're still trying to figure out how to make it all gel together. I remember you said something about them playing at too fast of a pace, and I kind of watched them and saw it.
There's a thing where somebody like we're gonna talk about it with Ebron in a minute. Like when you play teams, they start figuring you out.
Yeah. When
they see it multiple times, it don't matter how many times. Like they just play one way.
Yeah,
they do.
They can't. I don't see them winning another way.
Well, you saw it in the Knicks series. The Knicks slowed them down. Tyrese isn't playing like Tyrese did last year.
Honestly,
that's really
and like that's their guy, and he's got to play. He's got to play that way for them to be good.
Yeah,
I think their bench isn't very good. I think that they're not figuring. They're not the same as last year. They don't have that same confidence. Like you watch them. Like I think the Knicks, a depleted Knicks, when they got them up out of there, I think that killed a little bit of their confidence. Like, like we're not even good enough to beat a depleted Knicks team.
Yeah. Where
do we go from here? But Tyrese Halliburton's got to be. He's got to be a top 10 player in the league for them to be good, and that's what he was last year.
Yeah, and I agree. That makes it very simple. He has to be a top 10 player for them to be at the level they feel like they should be at. He has to be top 10. There can't be a game that he does not have at least, and this is me being generous, 18 and 10. It can't be.
I agree.
He makes the engine go.
Yeah.
That's the way that the makeup of the team is right now. Mm-hmm. So if he does not give you that, it won't be that.
Yeah.
Hey, so really quick, guys. I know you're on stream. 2 minutes until we have Ebron on, the All-Pro, newly retired. One last topic. What is going on with Jamal Murray, and is it time for the Nuggets to move on from him?
We'll run this one quick. I'm going to keep it a buck. You give him to... It's tough. You can't really do much because you just signed him an extension.
You did.
You just gave him an extension. You literally just got to hope he plays better.
Yeah, I think you hope he plays better. Like, what are the injuries that are nagging him? Like, you can kind of see it. Like, he's not moving.
Yeah.
He's kind of struggled with that kind of throughout.
And they're attacking him.
His career. I think you and this goes to the load management thing and what matters, I think you got to sit him for a while, and I think you got to get him healthy.
I agree.
He can't just go. You can't just go with a beat up Jamal Murray and win.
Because it clearly beat up Jamal Murray.
Right, and so I think this is one of those load management things, and it's I know, but the object of the NBA is to win. How do you get there? How do you do it? I think he is banged up. Get him healthy, right?
Yeah.
And that's your best Nuggets team. But I don't. He's got too much money.
You got too much money. You can't really get. He's not. I'm gonna tell you, he ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
All right, well, guys, enough hoop talk for right now. Let's get to Mr. Eric Ebron, Mr. All-Pro. Let's talk football, guys. Let's get to it. First, we have Green Bay and Detroit.
Ebron, what up, my boy?
Yeah.
What's goody?
Can't hear
Y'all
him.
good? Everybody good today?
This guy here, bro. Hey, my fault, streamers.
Yeah.
We got my boy home,
Yes.
rookie ass.
This was. For everybody, guys.
Oh, yeah?
On the table behind you.
Got you.
I'm
Thank you.
telling you.
Appreciate it, hon. Hey, hon, say what up to the people.
What's
Hey,
good,
he
home?
said we're talking about Josh Allen, right? That's what you said?
What?
Oh.
No,
I'm not
today.
keep
Okay.
coming on this segment. I can take my talents elsewhere if that's what you go.
Oh, gosh.
I can take my talents.
No,
Hey,
so
what
what's
up,
good with
my
y'all,
boy?
man?
Hey, what's up,
Everybody
man?
good?
How's
Everybody got a good
retirement,
day?
man?
Come on now. Shit, but yeah, man, we talk about football. You know what's crazy, bro? Listening to y'all, I learned a lot about the game. But like the Halliburton talk, the sitting players down talk, it's like people want to know about that shit in our sport too. So it's kind of dope to hear y'all talk about it, man. First and foremost,
For sure.
But
It's a big game
football,
tonight,
man. Come on, what y'all want to know?
It's a
What
big,
y'all wanna know?
it's a big game tonight. Detroit,
Facts.
Green Bay.
Facts.
I think, and this is like I
spent
said,
a lot of time in this
you-
division.
You for sure. You spend a
Facts.
lot of time there.
Facts.
And first thing I want to ask you, in Detroit in general, the city,
Right.
the team,
Man.
you could just tell how passionate and happy everybody in that city is for just how successful and how they playing. Bro, I enjoy watching Detroit. I would have never thought I would say that. Because
Appreciate
you can see the passion from the fans of how they just love their team, bro.
You know I
And
used to
it's
play for
different.
them,
How
right?
special is that Detroit team?
You know I used to play for him, right? So you know.
Not,
down to the
I
history a little
cut a
bit.
spade a
Kind of made it
spade,
feel like
my
you didn't
boy.
want to watch us back then.
Hey,
But it's
listen,
cool.
I kept you on the fantasy team. That's about it. I
Okay.
checked the stats.
Me too.
That's it.
Right. But no, man. What people don't understand, and you know, being a part of it for 4 years, is like Detroit is the hunger in that city for something good to develop and something good to happen. I mean, what was the best thing? I mean, a very decent baseball team since the Pistons. You know what I'm saying? Like honestly, what has Detroit really put out there sport wise? So you know, finally moving all the teams back into the inner city. Finally developing that football program, which is going to pump the city up the most. You know, I'm happy. I'm proud of them. Like, cause when I was there, I caught the back end of, you know, the history and everything. And, you know, being a first rounder, your job is to alter the history. And that's not a one man's job. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
Maybe, you know, maybe for the man above, but that ain't no humanly duty. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just happy to have been a part of it and still know players to this day. That organization needed this, that city needed this. And for those fans and the people that spend their money to watch, you know, through all them years, you know, they deserve this. Last year, they should have went to the Super Bowl. If they could stay healthy, I still think they should go to the Super Bowl, but they going to lose today. That's my pick. That's how we go through this. You know, I do partake in parlays and things these days, so I got to make sure that the parlay stay parlaying, but I do got Green Bay tonight.
What's your reason Green Bay come winning that game tonight?
Man, Detroit is hurt in the interior on both of their offensive and defensive line. Well, Taylor Decker plays on the outside, but he's a significant piece as well as DJ Reader, and they're missing him. I don't know if Carlton Davis is going to be full go. I know he's full go in practice, and if they don't have him, you know, against some of them receivers and all that stuff that Green Bay got going on their offense, you know, it's going to be a little tough. But I got Green Bay just because of the consistency. I love the way Jordan Love's playing. Josh Jacobs, to me, is the top 3-4 running back in the league right now, or in the past years to come, or years to come. So, man, yeah, I got Green Bay tonight for sure.
Hey, E, talk about Xavier McKinney.
Oh man, same agent. I hang out with Zay in the offseason. I love him, man. Anybody that played for my Giants, first of all, I love him. And then for him to take this opportunity in the Green Bay, and don't mind you, Green Bay didn't have, when Xavier McKinney signed, they wasn't the defense that I'm sure they're playing to be right now.
Yeah.
But what they've built and the tandem that they got in their back end right now with all those young dudes, I think Xavier is the perfect piece, man. He balling out of control. Yeah. He got like 7-8 picks.
Ball, right?
Yeah.
Bro, phenomenal, bro. I've always thought he was good. So for him to display that with that kind of recognition that Green Bay gets for that kind of organization, for sure.
So you let Saquon walk and you let Xavier
That's tough.
Let the whole organization walk. Let everybody go.
Yeah, let everybody go at this point. Let me ask you this: does Green Bay, this right now, both teams right now, because these two are arguably two of the best teams in the NFC.
In the NFC,
with,
for sure.
With Minnesota and Washington, of course. And
Washington.
Y'all see how I threw that?
Yeah.
Come on now. But right now, Green Bay have a better chance to go a deeper run, or Detroit?
Health is wealth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so for both of them, they're both missing significant pieces tonight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're missing Jair Alexander and Dobbs. Those are two significant pieces. And I mean, it's going to take us perfectly into something I want to talk to, which is I call it dash for cash, which is like week 14. Well, it really starts at like week 12, 13, 14, 15, when it used to be 16 games, but now 17. It all depends on who got the healthier team. Honestly, you know your offense, you know your defense, you know your identity. Who's going to be the healthiest going into the stretch?
Yeah. I mean, that's a great point, because at the end of the day, you see, and me and you talked about this a little bit with the 49ers. They're still one of the most talented teams in the NFL.
Facts.
They just ain't been healthy all year.
Yeah.
I personally believe, I don't know how y'all feel, but like, you don't blow that up.
No.
For sure.
You got talent. You
sure.
just have been hit with the injury bug like no other. I mean, they can't catch a break. How the hell you lose Christian? Mm-hmm. Then you lose your backup. Like, in the same game.
Same game.
Like,
and I want to say this too, you know, I'm really close to Trent Williams, and you know, he had a family tragedy. So, you know, man, we pray and to make sure that he stay up through the things that he going through. But those significant events and things that happen in life, I mean, 49ers was just hit with that this year.
Yeah.
It happens every year.
Every year.
You know what I'm saying? Some team's gonna have all these great players. It's gonna be an injury bug. It's gonna be a sickness. It's gonna be something that happens. Or an epidemic of injuries. Maybe it's the ACL this year or the hamstring this year.
Yeah.
You know, you just gotta, honestly, you know, you just gotta make sure that your team is as healthy as possible. And that leans on the coaches and their staff and equipment and everybody along the way as well too.
Does this bye week for the Ravens help them?
Man, bye week this late in the season for anybody helps them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying we want our bye week this late. You know what I'm saying? But
super late.
We want that bye week somewhere around this time. But week 14, 13, that's
they play the Giants next.
Oh.
They can get healthy.
They'll be fine.
They gonna clinch the playoffs on the Giants.
That's a fact. They definitely gonna do that. They you see them still being a team to beat in the AFC.
For sure. Yeah. I look at it like this, man. That bye week, them boys is gonna spend time with their families. They're gonna get healthy. They're gonna do things that take their mind off of all the stuff that they've been through from training camp to this point.
Yeah.
Now don't take out training camp. Their body hasn't stopped since August.
Bro.
We're in December.
Yeah.
And
recording in progress.
They're not that unhealthy either.
Exactly.
Like, they're a relatively healthy team, which is scary for this point of the season.
Yep. So let them. It's great for them to have remained healthy for that long. Let's give kudos to their staff for whatever they're doing, because from training camp to now, to have very little injury, soft tissue, major injuries, or any non-real major surgeries, man, yeah, they're doing pretty good. So that's why I really like them and their chances in the AFC. You know what I'm saying? Because they just maintain good health.
Yeah. Hey, speaking on players being out, let's talk about Aziz Al-Shaair and the suspension. How do we feel about that, man?
I'm gonna let you say it. Yeah, I'm gonna let you keep saying the name. I'm gonna just say. I ain't got time for all that, brother. You know what I'm saying?
I hope
never stood up for the spelling bee in school. Yeah. But for my dog.
my boy.
For my guy.
Yeah.
Dang them.
Man, you know, football is a game of so much reaction and re-reaction. You know, at that point in time when the quarterback ever starts to slide, you have all the ability to adjust your body as you're moving forward and he's moving forward, right? So it's not like someone was pushing you, your motion wasn't, you know, interrupted by anything. I think that the hit was unnecessary. But mind you, I understand this game. The emotions that get involved, you got a division game. Houston needs to win to maintain some kind of credibility.
Yeah.
You got your star quarterback flying in a situation in which maybe you say, hey, he should have started his slide sooner, or hey, you should have stopped sooner. But we're playing a reaction game where all of our muscles are taught to do one thing. So I don't penalize him for 3 games. Hell no. That's too much, man. And I think the NFL really needs to stop that. We just saw somebody just sent me something today about they're gonna start fining people for taking pictures to the drug test. For what? For what? Like, make this shit for what? Man, that's another topic. We'll get on that another day.
Yeah.
But it's just like
that's a dash for cash.
Right now, for sure. That's the real dash for cash.
For
Stop
sure.
robbing these kids of these opportunities, man. That's 3 games. That's, you know, a suspension.
In the playoff too.
Come on, man.
Need him.
They need
and
him.
that's their star player. Like,
pivotal,
and this what, and explain this. You don't play the game, you don't get that paycheck, right?
for sure.
That's not for the suspension.
Oh hell,
That's not for a suspension.
that's nah, bruh.
Let's do an episode on where does that paycheck go, and I'll let y'all know when we find out next.
Bruh, that's insane, bro.
Right.
Did Trevor slide too late?
It's no such thing for a quarterback, bro. It's no such thing as, oh, he's supposed to slide. No, the quarterback got to get as many yards as he can, especially if he's fighting for the first down. When the quarterback starts with his feet, he is no longer a moving target. He's giving his body up. That is the rule. They bring that to us the first meeting of every year.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When the quarterback starts to slide with his feet. Now, if he dove with his head, now the player is still considered a runner. Now we can still hit him any kind of way. But when he starts with his legs, you got to give it up, man. And you got enough time between that to, you know, divert, move your body, however you should do it. I don't play defense. I catch touchdowns. They'll figure it out.
And he was very good at it as well. But next, guys, we have the game of the week, chosen by Mr. Eric Ebron. Arizona and Seattle. First, why do you pick this as your game of the week?
Man, so like I said, this is the dash for cash, which is the later part of the year. And the reason why it's considered the dash for cash is because if you don't make the playoffs, you don't get paid. Your checks end at week 17. We're trying to get that extra money. And that extra money, we call that in the business of contracts, unaccounted for dough. You know what unaccounted for dough is? I mean, you ain't had that in your bill statements. You ain't had that on the grocery list. You ain't had that nowhere. That's free money for vacation time, for trips, for little cuz that need shoes. You know what I'm talking about? We need that dash for cash.
Gotta have it.
I chose this game because there's no significant battle more important than this division rivalry game right here for this week. You know, they're both sitting technically at the same record. They're both sitting technically at the same record in the division, and they're division rivals. So whoever wins this game moves into, I believe, the first place in that division. So, I mean, they got to get to it. Both of them teams, you know. I don't know if they still call it Gino, but he got to answer this one. He got to have to answer this one.
Who you got?
Whoo.
Seattle
I got
balling.
AZ, man.
Really?
I know, but I got AZ. I got AZ in this one because I just like Kyler Murray's playmaking ability a little bit more than Geno's, even though Geno has better weapons right now, more developed weapons. I just think that Arizona's gonna pull it off because they always play good against their division opponents, bro.
It's like the only team it's the only team they beat. Is their division opponents.
It makes no sense, bro. So it's like the Chargers and the Chiefs.
Anybody in the league.
Kyler's been balling.
Yeah, phenomenal, bro. And we all happy to see it. Send me a pair of them Nike cleats. Thank you, brother. But
hey, shout out Dallas.
Shout out Dallas, man. Allen, Texas. Man. Football Mecca. Football Mecca, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
They print athletes. I ain't gonna lie.
Hey. I'm weak as hell. Let me ask you this. Chargers, Chiefs, NKC. Chargers get that done?
Man, I love this matchup. It was so close to being my game of the week, but without JK, and then their first round draft pick, the receiver, I can't remember his name, and I will.
Quentin Johnston.
Quentin. When I feel like they're just missing a few significant pieces to be that. You know what I'm saying? And their quarterback, man, I think between him and Joe Burrow, I think they throw the best ball.
Yeah. Keenan Allen
in
going
the
back.
NFL right now, bro.
Keenan Allen going back.
He missed it.
Bro, oh yeah, KA got to go back.
Yeah, he going
You heard
back.
what my dog said, free agency. It's either Chicago or LA. Everybody else don't call me. You heard what that man said.
Yeah. You know.
All fade and all.
Yeah. Everybody know where he going.
Facts. And I just think they need a few more pieces. This not their year. Great coach. I think Harbaugh, what he's doing, bro, is phenomenal. Like, if it wasn't for Mike T still balling, Harbaugh would be my coach of the year. So I'm saying it's just the way it is. But nah, I got Kansas City. They know how to win. Bro, and there's nothing you can do about that.
It's so crazy how people continuously doubt them.
Facts.
Bro, he has proven it over and over again in the playoffs. I'm not going. It's just like Tom.
Just like Tom.
Until they get beaten, I'm not going with nobody else. Bro. I just haven't seen it. I love Lamar. I can't pick. I can't pick them until
you show me something
until you show me you can beat them.
I think this is gonna be a great test for them.
This year will be a great test.
Yeah, because you got like he said, like Harbaugh can coach, so he's gonna scheme them.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be a great test.
For sure.
I hope they lose so the Bills can go to the 1 seed.
Man.
Bills could go to the 1 seed.
I think the Bills gonna lose some more games.
Wins the MVP.
I think the Bills gonna lose some more games.
And then he's gonna take. And then I think he said he gotta. Yeah, we got dinner on E. That's what the text said, right?
Yeah, if Josh Allen win MVP, dinner on me for sure. We going to Carbone and that.
Hey, listen. They play the Rams.
Yep. Detroit.
They play the Rams in LA. That don't really matter. That's gonna be a Bills home. That's gonna be a Bills home game. Lions, Patriots. Shout out my boy Drake, balling.
Yeah,
they gonna lose that game. Hey, Jets, Bills. They could. Jets and Patriots.
Detroit's the game for the Bills that I think that's gonna show you.
That's what he'll prove it.
Who they are.
I think they have shown you who they are, but that's the game, right? You go to Detroit. You go into that atmosphere,
hostile.
And you win that game. And I'm from upstate New York, and it's the same thing as Detroit, right? Mm-hmm. That fan base is just they need. I would love to see.
They're gonna clash.
Detroit Super Bowl. That's what I would.
They're gonna clash. That could be a preview of the future. Honestly, you know what I'm saying? I think that game for Josh Allen is going to have to prove that he can do it. You know what I'm saying? Because right now his team collectively are balling. He has a great run game. His O-line is very decent this year. I'm not going to give them a Detroit Lions O-line, but they're very good. And their secondary and back ends, they're getting Matt Milano back healthy and running and getting him grooving. So I do got a lot of hope for the Bills. They have to prove it outside of that division. Yeah. That's it for me. Yeah. That's it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, one game and we win. But I'm saying Josh been beating Pat all regular season. Let's get into the nitty gritty.
And
you know
we
what I'm
gotta
saying?
really talk about it. They beat the 49ers in a fucking
that was
snow blizzard.
They had no chance.
Right.
Like
No, not about the weather, but just
they
about
didn't
the
have
personnel.
The personnel wasn't
the
even
personnel's
right.
not the same, right?
Like they
y'all
got to the red zone 3 times and didn't score.
Come on, man. Like y'all don't want to watch preseason, but then you complain when your team ain't got the players and it's the same thing. Like these players in the NFL, I don't know how it is in basketball, but these 2s and 3s behind the 1s, they're not getting those quality reps like that, bro.
No.
So you can't expect them to go into a snow blizzard when that's going on and expect them to play well. That just sounds crazy.
I gotta ask one more thing before we go.
I know you good.
College football playoff.
Yes.
I know you got some thoughts.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Do you agree with if SMU loses, do they still get in your opinion, to Clemson?
One loss team. Absolutely.
I thought they lost one already.
They would have 2 losses.
They would have 2 losses.
If they lose to Clemson.
But I'm
If they
saying
lose to Clemson.
a one-loss team, absolutely, because they're losing the championship game. Now we're going to penalize them for making it to the championship and losing against another championship caliber team. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I mean, I look at it like this: we got to stop babying the SEC and all the other divisions and stop acting like the ACC is not a good football conference.
Yeah.
We deserve that much respect. Now, mind you, SMU is a first bid. Don't really got that much,
Yeah.
care for them all that much. They just got here.
For sure. You
But,
just got here,
what I'm saying? They whooped in our ass, but they just got here. I respect good quality football, and if SMU has beaten everybody in their path, then that's a good quality football team. Put them out there. They ain't lose their starting quarterback, so what's your excuse this year if, you know, they got 2 losses? You put a 3-loss Alabama team in there? Let's make it make sense.
Miami, no chance.
Miami
the
had
fact
to
that they
win
behind
those
Bama, they don't have a chance.
The
But
2
I think
losses.
your Syracuse game, that's the game. That's your get into the playoff. And you lost.
Right.
Because they've been complaining that they haven't played anyone, and that's the team.
They just had to they just had to win that game, and they were in.
Georgia Tech, Syracuse, your 2 losses. Those are not good losses. Kind of like y'all point system when you talk about.
I don't mind the Georgia Tech one.
3.
I think Georgia Tech was better than what they played like this year.
Georgia Tech beat some teams every year.
They damn near. I was about to say
do
they
that
damn
every
near
year.
beat Georgia, but I don't think Georgia's that good either.
For sure. Okay, but we still talk about Georgia Tech.
I know. I'm just saying. You're right.
We talking about mechanics and engineers coming out there.
You're right. You're right. You're right about that.
We're not supposed to. Cam Ward's not supposed to lose to those teams. That's your Heisman. That's your playoffs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So
right. Who you got winning it?
The whole thing.
The
whole kit and caboodle.
The caboodle.
The whole kit. I don't know, bro. College football has been so crazy these past couple years. I think Oregon is good, but no losses kind of scare me.
They're gonna lose to Penn State.
You know, that's another segment for another time. But if I had to pick a team that's dominating, that's probably going to win, damn, I can't even give you one, brother. I'm gonna have to say Oregon, but they scare me because they haven't lost. But they are the most on paper, on statistically, whatever you turn on film, they're the best team you're gonna see.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
Yeah, man, I would say Oregon, but they scare me.
I got Ohio State.
I do too.
I got Oregon.
I think Ohio State can't beat Michigan right now. I think psychologically they're just fucked up, clearly. Other than that, I think they're the best team in the country.
I think that resets them.
Yeah, I think it's a great hunt.
I like that.
That wide receiver, I can't remember his name, the freshman they got.
JJ?
My Lord. Reminds me of myself playing P.
He don't get enough touches, though. They just
you said reminds you of you in recess in the 6th grade?
You said what?
That reminds you of you in recess in the 6th grade?
Yeah, I came from a football family. Hey,
okay.
I grew early, so I was the first Eric Ebron.
I grew early. That's the first time I heard that.
Yeah.
I grew early.
Yeah.
That's
a wild
special,
statement.
special, right? And then it was like, dang.
Oh,
Wow.
This guy.
I hear you, Westbrook.
I'm weak as hell.
Hey, man. But, hey, yeah. Appreciate you, Eric, man.
Absolutely,
Always
brother.
a pleasure. Always a pleasure to have your insight.
My boy.
And we'll be back next time. And
Next
we'll
Monday.
have a whole list of games to recap.
For
So
sure.
again,
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
your time, man. And
Anytime.
See you, my boy. Later.
peace.
That was good, bro.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I definitely got Ohio State.
Oh, he's funny.
Nah,
I
that's
love
a
him.
character.
I love him.
That is a character.
But now we're going to transition into the fan segment, but really quick, you guys stay on stream right after the fan segment. Really quick, we're going to have Mr. Justin Jackson recap our college basketball games.
Great bump last night, so
Great
y'all
bump.
stay tuned for that for sure.
But starting off with our fan segment, the what the F moment for the week. Roll the clip, Peter. We have Mr. Josh Hart talking about what he would do with his winnings from the tournament, from the cup.
Is there a little something extra about this game?
No, I get a new watch. I might get a new watch though.
Still got one more.
All Nova guys
Oh,
are
that's
just
fine.
trolls, bro.
He's
They're
hilarious.
just
So
trolls,
wrong.
man.
Just scrapping for the money. Yeah. So I don't really care about the young guys getting murdered. I just care about me. What I'm gonna spend.
You're a fucking asshole.
I'm just keeping it 100. I want a new watch, so I might get that. What, Jake? What's something else I can do to just spend money? I can get a new car.
Make some new parlays.
No, I don't even bet no more, bro.
What happened? You just bet me. You just give me $100 after the Commanders lost. Remember that?
That don't count though.
Okay.
When you guys were up like 30 something in the fourth.
Ebron just talked about it. It's one of those payments you don't really expect.
Yeah.
This is just free money at this point. This is just extra bread.
I want to say they got 51 bands.
That's extra money that you just use. Like when you make when you playoff money and cup money, that's your vacation money, and you just save all the other stuff for family and bills and all that other stuff. But other than that, that's play money that you getting. So
Yeah.
they win it. They got, and they gonna make it to the playoffs. You damn near can make a meal.
Just all bonus.
Just bonus.
Hey,
And they ain't talking about endorsements and stuff. Like, hey,
I know you wish they had that when you was
boy,
boy.
I wish they had the cup when I was there.
Oh,
We
God.
got out at the wrong time, J Jack. Got out at the wrong time.
Peter, how much time do we bring Jay Jackson? I'm saying, like, how much time do you want? Okay.
Are we good? You ready?
Really quick, our tweet of the week. Can you go ahead and pull that up for us, Peter?
Pull up that tweet.
We have two, actually. And I will
Talking
say,
about Carolina basketball?
no. We'll trust me, we'll get into that. But this is the wildest thing I've seen.
Oh wow!
And the funny thing about this is real. This is not a fake picture. This is just.
I know. I saw that.
This is.
Just trying to get a handful of nuts.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I don't even know how you react to that.
I mean,
Colleen would've
you
been
see,
calling my phone.
You just gotta keep it moving.
Yeah.
You see his reaction. He seems pretty happy.
I was like, babe, I didn't even know.
I ain't feel nothing. I'm paraplegic down. I don't feel nothing.
Yeah. Hey, let's
Hey.
move on. We
Hey.
got wives and kids.
Yeah. But next we
God,
have
dog on Dabo.
Dabo Sweeney, man.
What you say?
So we talked about Spotify rap. They were, later than normal. And so he said, no, Spotify rapped? No, thank you, big dog. I'm wrapped in the blood of Jesus. And if you have ever seen a Dabo Sweeney interview, he will mention the blood of Jesus several times. I mean, I'm a God-fearing man as well, as you can see, but Dabo just has a way of making it hilarious. I can lie to you.
Hey, Dabo's a different cat. He's
Yeah.
a different guy. But hey, listen, we all praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus. We wouldn't be here today without it. Thank you.
Shout out OG, man. But
My boy J Jack, what up, man?
in 2 minutes, we will
What's
have
up,
J
fellas?
Jax in the building give us all the reviews. One last thing on the fan segment before we get to J Jax. Just want to reestablish the stock rules.
Mm-hmm.
So again, we're doing four tier teams, all depending on the money and how you lose. So say if you're a 1-tier team and you lose to a 3-tier team, you will lose $75. The 25 is for the loss, 2 more 25 for the 2 tiers in between.
We need to get J Jax on there. We need to get some teams for Jax. Let's go ahead and get Jax some teams, bruh. Hey, all I know.
Give him Carolina.
No. We talking.
What's up with this guy?
He ready, bro.
He ready. We not even talking college hoops yet, bro. We talking NBA.
He ready for it. Hey, give us one. We're gonna unleash you.
All right, Jess. Let's get your teams now. So first 4 teams are the tier 1 teams are the first 4 in each conference. That's tier 1. Tier 2 is the next 4.
We'll get them offline and we'll bring them in.
Because
Jay Jackson, give me 4 teams you believe in. 3. Give me 3 teams you believe in. Offline. We're doing it right now. This guy.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I haven't watched an NBA game in about.
That don't matter to me. Just give me 3 teams.
Nobody's touching Boston, so I'm kind of confused. What's it even matter?
Boston.
That's 200.
How much?
The
money
better teams will cost more. But if you could, I picked the Raptors. They're on the bottom toll, but they got a win the other night, so I get more bread.
That's a bad one.
They're cooking, so they don't even do that. They won the other night.
I don't know. I need offline. I need to do some research.
And so one last thing, all I wanted to update you guys on is what we're going to start doing is positioning the locks for the week. So if you pick a team, that'll be it for the week, and you can buy and sell at the beginning of the next week. Just so that, it's very volatile because, teams win and lose, come up with games.
Tyler cheaper.
That's just kind of how we want to do it.
I'm 2-0.
Hey.
Actually 3-0. The Bounties won last night. We're 8-1.
But you don't get much bread, bro.
Hey, now
y'all keep going.
That's all I have to say. Now we can unleash the beast, because Tyler's been waiting to tear USC a new one. Let me introduce my boy J Jax, another national champ, to the chat. We appreciate your time, man. Let's get into it.
The national championship days is over, ain't they?
Let's do it.
We're like 2 years after this, bro. 2-3 years after this, bro.
Y'all were struggling last night watching that.
It was rough.
Let
me tweet so my Carolina people can get on.
I was gonna hold the UNC.
I don't know.
But
I don't know if you want to tweet that out.
Let's just get it out.
Let's go ahead.
Let's just start with it.
I think, hey Theo, I think this is the one where you let the North Carolina fans kind of chill. I think, honestly,
we need them to know.
So we're gonna run the clips from last night,
like this,
and we're gonna see what happened.
Run them. Run the clips. I ain't scared of it.
Can't be any.
We weren't playing.
What clips do we have to run? If we're gonna be honest.
Alabama getting some bucks.
Gortat action. I love it.
This guy hasn't been this energized.
Oh, look at this slip.
I can't talk too much shit though, because Alabama also beat my team, so they're good though. They're good. They're nice.
Alabama's good, bro.
They're nice.
That's the thing about all of this. Alabama is good, and they're coached really well. Like some of the actions that they ran, they would score on some legit teams, right?
Yeah.
But for me, it's like I don't see any type of competitiveness.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's my biggest issue. Like you can't have a dead ball and Alabama is scoring a layup.
Yeah.
On the other end.
There was little resistance last night. Last night. It's big time ESPN game. It's the reason you go to Carolina. And
yes.
The fight wasn't there. Like there's times where I don't care that you're not hitting shots early. Like at some point you gotta have that, like you gotta be messed up in the head. Like at some point this shit gotta change. But we're gonna continue to compete. But the fight just died. It just died. It's like we were looking and we looked like we didn't know where to go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think Alabama's a tough team to play after what just happened. I think they're really, like Jay was saying, they're really hard to guard. Ryan Pannone, offensive mind-wise, like the actions they're running, like goes, hammers, they're, driving and then they're hammering and flaring. They're running. So, they run that kind of unannounced actions. And so for a team that's searching, like that's just not who you want to play.
Yeah.
Not at all.
They ran an action. Hey, run the clip one more time, Peter. It'll come up in the clip at one point. What's the lefty kid name?
Sears.
Had the ball, 2-2 spacing. 2 guys in the high quad. I think it's right here. No, it's not. It's high quad and young fella, number 2. Damn. He played with CP3. I'm tripping.
Holloway.
Yeah.
Caught the ball, and they ran this flare action. He drives left, and they run a hammer backside. Like, look at the actions they're running.
Yeah.
Like, we're trying to figure out how to play defense straight up, and they're running stuff that we have to guard 2 or 3 things at once. And T just hit upside the head.
Right
here. That.
But that's taught.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to come over and help, and then you have a hammer action on the back end. He gets a butt naked 3. Look at that.
Watch this move. Well, that's 2 freshmen.
Yeah, that's
freshman on ball.
And that's what we talk about playing basketball the right way. Like, most people, you drive, you're just standing. Nah, you need to relocate so you're in the eyes of the driver. Mm-hmm. They were doing stuff at a high efficient level, and it was like, I'm a big believer. It's over till it's over. That first half, I was looking at some of the shit they was doing. I'm like, you can't go in halftime and adjust and correct this.
No.
This has to be like a whole type of practice. What you think, Jax?
Bro, it's the fight and competitiveness is one thing, right? But then, like, on the flip side, it's like, okay, Alabama's really good, right?
Yeah.
But Alabama has, like, pieces in every area.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, we talk about, like, Sears is a preseason All-American, right? Like, he's the best player on that team. But you look at that game, Phylon was cooking.
Hey, he's good.
Like, absolutely cooking. And nobody talked about him. Grant Nelson, really, I mean, he didn't do as much as I thought he was going to do.
I don't remember him being out there.
You see what I'm saying? But then you've got a guy inside, which I love. And I think his name is Clifford Amarui.
Yep. Is that number
big fella,
10?
number 11.
Number 11?
Number 11.
He came from Rutgers.
Woo!
Oh, that's him?
That's the rim runner.
He went to Bama?
I mean, it was every time he was in the paint, he was
He gave him that football money, JJ.
Hey, Jax. He had a dunk last night that was so disrespectful. I wanted to go down there and knock him upside his damn head. He didn't need to dunk it that hard.
It wasn't just one. That's the problem. It was, and then you had all these like the problem with North Carolina is those 3 guards are their best players, but they're tiny.
Yeah.
And so you run into a team like this. The amount of times that they ran into that paint to try to finish over those guys, and just there was nothing. Like, so I don't know, to be honest. Shout out to, Alabama is a really good team. Like,
Bama got a chance.
They were due. Yeah, they were due
to win that whole damn thing.
North Carolina's got a lot of questions.
Yeah, we got to figure it out inside, outside. It's one of those things where it's like we low key might have to go to a team, and with Elliott, he just has to be aggressive. Like,
well,
you don't got shit
that's
to
what
lose.
I was surprised.
You don't got shit to lose at this point, my boy. Just play. Just go.
Yeah.
Hoop. Like, you have to shoot the ball. If you're out there, you are a liability because you're not aggressive. No one's looking at you to shoot.
Nobody.
No one. So they're playing the pocket.
Tyler said that last show.
Yeah.
Tyler said that last show. If I'm guarding him, I'm going under every single one. But then the issue is, like, all season he's played well.
Yes.
But then the issue is I'm watching, and it's like midway through the second half, and he's just like kind of hiding out in the corner. And all season he's never done that. Like, he's been the guy with the ball in his hand, like whatever. So for me, it's like, forget the X's and O's and the box scores, and RJ went 7 for 24. Like, forget all that. Like, nobody was like, hey, yo, you remember the game we played against Maryland, bro? It was that our freshman year or our sophomore year?
Yeah, sophomore.
When Marcus was coming back, bro. Like, it was like, there's no way that I'm not fired up to play in that kind of game. No, we might have, like, we could have lost. We could have, like, not hit shots,
it was
whatever.
Gonna be a dog fight, though.
But we were going to compete, bro.
Yeah.
And, like, when I watched that game, that's literally the equivalent of the game. And it's just, there's 3 minutes left, and they're down 15, and they're just, like, not trapping. They're not trying to do anything. And I'm just like,
he's doing the
like,
right
that's
job.
not winning basketball.
Doing the right flag. And the thing is, if Elliott's playing, if you're playing, you're not in the corner. That destroys the whole offense.
All spacing. Everything is gone.
Oh,
I'm a low
the roller's not.
Defensively, if I'm Alabama and he's in the corner, I'm low tagging.
The rollers.
You're tagging from everywhere. They could be at the free throw line. They could be a pocket pass, and I'm going all the way up there.
And I think the other problem with Carolina, it's the small guards, and like I was a small guard, and at times it does get tough. One, it gets tough to score, right? And I think you saw that with R.J. Davis last night, 1 for 11 from 3. But like the Lukas, the bigger guards, they see everything. And I don't think that they see everything. And then your wing guys, Ian Jackson, I think, has a chance. He's just got to learn how to play. And, you saw him hit a 3 and then he comes down and just bop, 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 and shoots another one. And it's like,
he gets so excited.
Yeah, it's like time, it's like time and place.
But it's just the right way to play. That's all it is.
I think
like you had
JJ
one side it was, the other wasn't.
JJ said it Tuesday. The best Carolina teams, right? You guys always had an inside presence. And there is not even a semblance of it.
Listen, we have one big. It's a different team. You give us number 11 from Alabama, you're not fucking with us.
He was on the market. Y'all gotta somebody. I don't know.
Hey, listen.
Is there other games you gotta talk about?
Hey, one of these days, we're gonna do it.
Bucknell. Did you watch?
We're not talking about that. We're not talking about Bucknell and St. Bonaventure. I'll tell you that right
shows
now.
We're gonna do an
damn it, we lost views. Talk about St. Bonnie. Change it. We got to talk about something else.
We got a great game from Cooper Flack and Duke versus Auburn.
What you think, Jay Jax? What's your take on the game last night?
Hey, look, now that I'm getting into this space, I'll try to be as unbiased as possible. Duke is really good. They've got we talked about it last night. Like they've got talent like that they don't even know what to do with. Like homie that hit 6 threes in the first half.
Yeah.
He was averaging like 11 minutes a game.
Yeah, he played
coming
with
into the game.
Played with CP3.
Oh, so y'all are nice. CP3 nice.
We breed them.
All right. But anyways, like you look at that team.
Tough.
I mean,
pro move.
What's his name? Con Knipple. He had 2 points.
Yeah.
4 points with the last lay that he had.
Yep.
And I mean, he's arguably a first-round pick going into next year's draft, right? And then you've got a Cooper Flag who you can literally run anything you want through him, right? Like you can, like any action you want to run. If you want him being the ball handler, he can have it. If you want him screening and popping, he can do that. If you want him playing in the pocket, in the post, like, so having a player like him, at this point, I really don't care if he's a freshman or not. Having a player like that, that's that dynamic, like, it's going to be hard. And then you got guys like Proctor. Proctor is like so underrated because of all those freshmen that they have, which is weird to say. But that's a good team.
He's a sophomore.
Yeah.
He's young too, and then they go, because I was worried about that game from their aspect because Auburn is so veteran heavy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's all the guards, all the bigs, like everybody has been in school for 3-4 years,
12.
And they handled it well.
Would test what I saw from Duke last night was toughness because Auburn jumped on them. I thought Auburn was going to try to punk them, which I think they did try to punk them at first. Baker Mazzara just tries to punk everybody, right? And but Isaiah Evans came in there and made shots. But JJ hit it on the head. We were talking before the show. Cooper Flack's 17 years old, and I don't want to understate that.
Scary.
He
17.
plays in the clips we showed, right? There was a pick and pop, right? Pick and pop drive floater. Then he plays in the pocket, spray out to Proctor. And then you see what the superstar potential could look like.
Roll the clip one more time, Peter.
Which is that turnaround jumper. Like, that's not a shot that 17-year-olds make at that level.
That's a shot.
And so I'm actually more impressed with Cooper Flack than I was like this. Here it is, boom. And he knows.
And
right
it's
away.
so little, the hip tap, so small, but
right, he's
for him to know that a 17-year-old is different.
right? Now this is what JJ's talking about. They run the pins. He can play the point. Now this is boom, close out against a big.
That's tough.
Floater over the top, and then this.
This
is the shot. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
off that back foot, and then this was a pick and pop that they ran, and then he just takes advantage of the smaller guy. I just.
When you've got somebody like, everybody, it's a talent that you rarely get, but when you have that kind of talent, like your offense is like you have so many possibilities. It's insane. Like, and he doesn't even. Crazy thing is, he's not even averaging like just dumb numbers. Like Dylan Harper's averaging 25 a game. Like he's not even averaging crazy numbers, but the effect that like, and you talk about gravity last show. You talked about gravity last show. And it's crazy to say that a 17-year-old kid against an Auburn team that people say is the best team in the country has that kind of gravity. But it's like, I mean, what do you do? Like, you can't leave him just one-on-one.
No.
Like, if he's this versatile, be able to do all of these sort of things, you can't have a big on him all game. Like, but you also can't have a guard. He's basically 7 feet with the way that he shoots. So it's like,
hear me
it's
out.
an issue.
And they limited. I think Duke turned the ball over, if I'm right, I think 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So Auburn doesn't get turnovers. That's what, and I told you this before. When Auburn doesn't turn you over, they make me nervous because they feed off their defense, and if they can't get those, they did it against Yale last year.
They take tough ones too.
And it just they feed off that, and if they don't get that, what Auburn team are we looking at?
Yeah, I'll say this, and this is speaking from Duke. Players have superpowers in that gym, though.
100%. Knippel hasn't hit a shot outside of that gym.
They have superpowers in what they call that place?
Cameron.
Yeah, I forgot. Yeah, whatever. They have superpowers there. I forgot. I worry about them in neutral sites though. To have like you needed a game. And I'm so happy for Isaiah, but you needed a game from Isaiah, and you need that. Every game is so different, and maybe that's why they will be a very good team because you never know who the guy is going to be that night. But I worry about them in neutral sites because everyone talks about during the year you're playing at a way of like we never beat Virginia at Charlottesville.
No.
It's just
it's impossible.
It's just a different place. It's hard to play them there. But you catch them on a neutral site, you have a better chance. It's just how it is when you play there. I just worry about them in neutral sites when someone else is against them and they're not cheering for them. Because I think they get punched. If they get punched in the mouth at Auburn like they did last night, they get boat raced.
Yep,
it's different.
They get boat raced.
I think my only thing with that is I worry about the others.
Exactly. They're going to play well at home.
But I don't worry about Cooper Flag. You see what I'm saying? So I worry about everybody else. They got to play well.
Who's your second guy though? You need a second guy if Cooper's not going at that neutral site. Everyone's talking about Knippel. I don't know.
Who's your closer? And you even saw it last night. You saw it in the games they lost. Like, even last night, those last couple minutes down that stretch, it wasn't like they were getting buckets. No. Auburn was missing. Broom missed a 3, and then, Knippel made that layup. But where do you go down the stretch? Yeah. I honestly, I love 6-2 with their schedule. I love where they're at.
Oh, they're in a good spot, for sure.
I think that they're going to grow up a lot. But I think you got to figure that out of where you getting your looks from. I think the one thing, JJ, about Cooper's game, he's got to be a better shooter. But when I watch him, like, he doesn't get the spots yet, and he can rise up. Get him the ball. 2 dribble to the corner, jump over somebody. Get him the ball. Get him to the elbows. Hit him at the nail. Get him something. And teach him in these next months where his spots are.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, I don't think they're a Final Four team right now.
It's early.
And we can talk about this next because there's a team in Iowa State that I think is a problem. And there's teams like that I think are kind of in that conversation. But like you said, him being 17 and having all these young guys, they're just going to get more mature and better throughout the year.
I like
you know what I'm saying?
Iowa State, bro. I like Iowa State.
Peter, you got
Iowa State.
Yep.
Iowa State is a problem.
Iowa State. Because I was a big believer in Marquette, and Iowa State, they got some dudes.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think they said that they've got 5 players that average double figures.
But
and it's not just like
that's their guy right there, though.
Who? Gilbert?
Oh, man.
Boy.
Gilbert is an issue. But like for me, and I've never been a defensive guy. I'm not ever going to sit here and say like,
hold on, wait a minute. Hey, rewind that. Wait a minute. What did he just do to him?
The moves on that man.
Lord have mercy. Play the clip. Shout out Ray Race. Go subscribe. Gilbert, nice though.
Nice.
Gilbert, nice.
Gilbert's nice.
Like a Lou
Williams
type.
Gilbert, nice. How we gonna end the clip with that and Marquette lost? Bing. Ooh!
You know what's so?
And
Tyler, we talked about Cam Jones.
Love him.
And the second half, he finally he kind of started getting going and had his fingerprints on the game. But what those guards did, what they did to him in the first half, though,
I know.
Straight jacket.
Like, I mean, it was like I was sitting there feeling bad for him because he'd go after one and they would just sit down and guard, come down, get a different matchup, try to go at him again, sit down and guard. Like, I think Iowa State to me, and I know I've been saying Auburn. Iowa State to me is right there to say, hey, these guys this is the best team because they've got veteran guards, they've got a versatile 4 who's super underrated. I think his last name's Johnson, something like that. And then they got a big who he's a monster. Like he might not be super talented, but if in college. If you got a big that's physical, knows his role, goes and gets every rebound, gets it and finishes whenever you drop it off to him, like you're gonna be good. And then defensively, I mean they're super underrated too. And what I was just about to say, they're super underrated in like what they run offensively and things like that too. So yeah, it's a problem. But at the same time, Marquette's pretty good too. Marquette's got some freshmen and stuff like that.
About arenas, that place,
boy,
is dangerous.
We're gonna have George Niang on here next week, and we'll talk to him about it. That's a different place to play. Like, not many teams go in there and win, and that was impressive. That was impressive performance from Iowa State. Very impressive.
But it showed the fight from Marquette. They tied it up 61-61, and then it kind of got away again. But like JJ, you said, I mean, those are the two. You got your younger kids, right? And then you got your older kids. Cam and Gilbert are those older guards that I think during tournament time they can go on a run and they can win you games.
For sure. I agree with that.
Speaking on another Big 12, I'm so sorry, JJX.
No, do your thing.
Speaking on another Big 12,
I already know where you're going.
Baylor and Yukon, some other elite bump. How do we feel?
I'm not a believer.
Let's talk about it.
I'm not a believer in Baylor. I don't think Baylor's that good.
Let's talk about the kid though.
No, hey, UConn.
Who's the kid?
Liam McNeely.
Hey, listen. I hope that I can't.
Hey, come on, man.
Hey, listen. I worked out with Tyler a year and a half ago, 2 years now, maybe. And this kid comes into the gym. And he's playing ones with us, and he just has a different type of step to him. Like,
come on, man.
He's like, oh yeah, I'm better than you. I'm like, whoa, pump the brakes, kid. Like you're still young. But he got some swagger to him. He got swagger, and me and T talked about it before. He got to take the reins. He got to take the keys and say go. Like he's the guy. He's the guy to take this team to a new level. And he has the talent to do it because he can shoot it at a high clip, can make plays, very savvy. And that's what people need to really work on as far as this. And Would you say savvy is something you have, or can you learn that?
I think he learns it. I think with Liam, and I mean I've trained him since he was in 6th grade, and I think it's learned. It's hey, know who you are who you are, what your role is, how you're gonna make the league, all this stuff. The thing that impressed me about Liam last night is you got Alex Caravan out, who's their leader, right?
I thought I was gonna hurt him big time.
And and he kind of starts off slow, but he doesn't shy away. 5 for 13, 17 points, 8 rebounds. And the one thing that people sleep on him is they try to go at him defensively. 3 blocks. No. He will sit down and
he can move him. He gonna compete.
And he's a dog.
Yeah.
But I thought JJ and you and me were texting back and forth. I thought they started dominating them on the switches. They started getting some easies down low with Reed, and Johnson, who combined I think for 22 and 9, and then in my opinion, Baylor's best freshman is Rob Wright. It's not VJ.
What makes you say that?
Feel. His feel's better.
Yeah.
I think. Listen, the NBA is just, they look at athleticism.
Yeah.
Oh, we can take that and we can try to mold him into knowing how to play basketball. Or maybe, motherfuckers, he might just be that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
VJ's unreal. But he's
different.
He's 6'3". If he gets a jump shot, he sticks. Right?
Is he Markelle Fultz?
Markelle was different.
That's what I'm saying.
Washington.
He was different at Washington.
VJ can run the lanes. If the game's going up and down, VJ's unbelievable. He can stuff a stat sheet. He's a great on-ball defender.
Yeah.
The only thing, and that's the thing I think it comes to, and this is, I'm in the training world, right? So if you want to play in the NBA nowadays, you have to, play off the ball, and you got to make shots. You got to make shots. You can't be a liability on the offensive end. You just can't.
You can't. You can't do it. Because let's think about this. J-Jax, you are VJ, right? I'm not tripping. VJ will be a top 10 pick. He won't be top 5. So his team won't be ass. They'll just be ass, right? So he will go to a team that has a guy that will be ball dominant already. You're not going to have the ball that much. So that means you're going to be standing and they're going to have to pass you the ball and you're going to have to be able to make it. That's where T's talking about. You got to be able to knock down the open shot, right? If he can't do that, it's going to be hard for him to play. A great example who somebody he could watch is Jalen Suggs out there in Orlando. You can't keep Jalen Suggs off the floor because he's a flat-out dog. And he figures that he's capable of making it. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the right situation for him. If he can develop into that, but I like Wright, though. I think Wright.
And he's the best. He's like, there's college basketball players, there's NBA players. Rob Wright's he's a really good college basketball player. He's really good in the ball screens. He takes advantage of mismatches. He's able to finish. He can shoot it. Mount Verde kid, super competitive. That Mount Verde team, Cooper.
It's unfair. I don't know how I don't know how that was allowed.
How the fuck was that fun?
And VJ's one of the best freshmen in the country. When you look at guys, work on making shots. He makes shots. He's tough, man.
He's top 5 pick. He makes
shots. I think honestly, going back to Liam, I was watching. I think they were playing. Who did they play? It was one of their first. It was their first game. Sacred Heart. That's who it was. They were playing, and obviously Sacred Heart's not great, but Liam had a move, and obviously you train him, you know exactly what kind of player he is. But he had a move, and he finished with a lefty floater. I got a weakness for floaters, and he shot the lefty floater so smooth and it was something he just does every day. And from that point on, even when he kind of struggled in Maui and times like that, I was like, this guy knows how to play. But going to people also don't realize going from college to the league, being a rookie in the league, that's a totally different level, right? Whether even if you are the top 5 pick, where they're hey, you're coming in to be a franchise guy, whatever. But being a freshman is tough, bro. And I think that's why, like, some of these freshmen that are Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, Cooper Flagg, like, the way that they're playing already, I think that's what's so impressive to me that, like, the normal just basketball fan wouldn't understand. Like, they wouldn't see, like, dang, I got to get used to going to class at 8 a.m. And then I also got to stay up late to do a final. But I got to be able to go out here and play 30 minutes against an Auburn team who's freaking nuts, right? You know what I mean? So it's like, I think that's that for me. And with VJ,
they have that advantage now too, a little bit, J-Jacks, because when we grew up, we had it a little bit, but not much of being able to play with older guys. Like Liam's going to the gym playing against me, Dorian Finney-Smith, Julius Rand. Like he's seen that and played against that level of competition. Ace Bailey, they've been playing pros for years.
Yeah.
Now you go to college.
It's still something. It's still something though to getting into a role.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like
college is different
mentally.
College is different because the paint. There's no room. There's no room for anything. So
there's none.
But that's a big win for UConn. They were
huge win. They had to have it.
They had to have that win. You know, and it was like, you know, it was cool to watch Liam kind of take those reins and be like, hey man, like he's super competitive. And like you said, he didn't play great. He played one great game in Maui. The most impressive game for Liam in Maui was Memphis. Wasn't playing well, and then played great down the stretch. So we'll see, man. We'll see where UConn goes.
One more. Speaking about must-have wins and big games, we have the number one team going down last night versus Creighton. How do we feel about that? Do we think Kansas is still for real? How do we feel about them?
Kansas is a solid team. They're not number one team in the country, in my opinion. I think they're a good basketball team. I think they're always going to be in the mix. I think Bill Self is a really good fucking coach. So he's always going to have his team ready. But once again, Creighton plays unbelievable basketball. You want to see a team move the ball, create great shots, and everyone knows their role. Watch Creighton basketball. They're not ranked, cool, but there's one, and that's what it comes down to. When you got a good basketball team that knows their role, they're not going to do too much. They never do. But when you play Kansas, they're going to play the best they possibly can, and they're going to get hit with a buzzsaw, and Kansas did.
I think what really happened was that they played their game no matter what. I think they didn't go to Kansas saying, like, all right, we have to try to adjust what we're doing to them. Like, no, they played their game. We just saw them maybe dribble the ball 3 or 4 times that first play, and
they moved the ball at a high level.
So I think it's what happened last night.
Kansas, like you said, that's the perfect description. I think they're a good team. I don't think they are a top 5 team. They came in with all the hype, so that's kind of why that number one. And to their credit too, they had a couple big wins to start the season too. But I know obviously, what's his name, Isaac Pops. I know he went
27.
Pop Isaac went crazy, but Kalkbrenner down low is an issue.
He's a problem down there.
I mean,
and he's been out.
I mean, he started the season out with a 50-pointer, right? Like you realize how hard it is to score. You realize how, as a 5 and in college basketball, you realize how hard it is to score 50 points.
I don't care who you play.
Don't matter. You could play.
Yeah, that Creighton game.
Whoever.
Creighton came out, they zoned them, right? I don't think Kansas was quite ready for that. They were able to get stops. They jumped on them. Creighton got in transition, right? And what they forced DeJuan Harris to be was what he doesn't want to be, and that's a scorer. DeJuan Harris wants to distribute. DeJuan Harris took 21 shots and made 6. Like, they're not going to win him with him doing that
every single time.
And I thought, and my son loves Kansas, and I said I think Creighton's going to get him because Kalkbrenner neutralizes Hunter, right? And McDermott, to me, is as good of a coach in the country, so he's going to throw some stuff at you. And then Stephen Ashworth and Pop Isaac made shots. And that's what it comes down to. But Kalkbrenner is – can I say it?
You can say what the hell you want.
Kalkbrenner is here compared to Hunter Dickinson.
Look, I never want to spread hate.
Hey,
I never want to spread hate, but I've never been a huge fan of Dickinson. Never been a huge fan of Dickinson. Kalkbrenner, the effect that he has on the game is like, because you say he didn't just negate Dickinson, like he dominated Dickinson. You know what I'm saying? Like Dickinson had 6 points and like whatever. He's a preseason first team All-American, and Kalkbrenner walked away. You can't say that Dickinson is
better than him
with Kalkbrenner. You know what I'm saying? Like,
he
and
move better.
Like this, no, he moves way better. But where was Creighton at? They were at home. Like, I think because we've been like in the league and like the NBA, like other than like maybe going to Denver or like one of those, like in the regular season, home court advantage really isn't like a huge deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in college, you take a step back. Like I've been watching all these games, and I'm like,
it makes a difference.
There's no way this team, Pittsburgh, has been playing unbelievable. Like Jeff Capel's been, and went to Mississippi State and lost by 40.
Got cooked.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so it's like that. Also, I think is always something to take into account, because if you go to Kansas, I think that game looks a little bit different. You know what I'm saying?
I think they beat even with
Kalkbrenner being better than Dickinson or whatever, like it's a totally different game
for all these players that are at these schools, and there's so many big time games.
Mm-hmm.
So the crowds, like you look at the Clemson game, it's their first time being in those environments, and that's a lot. Like and there's not a lot of teams that won. I think Texas won at NC State.
Yeah.
And so like you look at these games, like to me that for Texas, like that's a massive win.
Yeah.
You go into an ACC school and you get a win, and because you just look down the line, like JJ, besides Bonaventure, we went into Bucknell and handled them. Yeah. But you know what I'm saying? There's certain things that
Clemson beat Kentucky. Kentucky went to Clemson and who called that? I told you.
Anyway,
Clemson just gonna skip the brown and white.
Exactly.
Okay. I don't even know why you brought. You gotta stop bringing up brown and white.
We're 8-1.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
You just played Bucknell. Like what does that mean?
We play who's on our schedule.
JJ, we got some big games this weekend, or is it quiet?
No, man, it's kind of quiet, to be honest with y'all. Like yesterday was like, hey, if you're a basketball fan, this is You need to tap into college basketball.
I would say Ohio State Rutgers this weekend, but Ohio State just got demolished at Maryland.
Yeah, I'm not. Now I will say Wisconsin plays Marquette Saturday. Wisconsin does play Marquette.
That'll be a good one.
So that and Kentucky and Gonzaga. Those are the two to lock into. Kentucky plays Gonzaga in the battle in Seattle, so it's a whatever.
Kentucky plays Gonzaga. That'll be a good one.
That'll be a good one. Because Gonzaga's low key kind of going under the radar too.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
So tap in on Saturday for those two games. But other than that, enjoy some football, man.
For sure, Jax. We appreciate you, my boy.
I appreciate y'all always, man.
We'll see you on Monday.
Well, guys, that wraps up all of our topics for today. Anything you want to leave for the people before we leave?
Hey, I'm excited about this Cup games coming up, and shout out to all the guys. Everybody stay healthy. I'm looking forward to the college football playoff being finalized after this week, and we'll see. You got anything, T?
Only winner on set. Bonaventure's 8-1.
That's crazy. Hey, Genty for Heisman. That's my last thing.
Hell nah. Shout out to Travis, boy. Get that Heisman, my boy.
Hey, but as always, guys, we appreciate you for tuning in with us. We will be back next Monday with episode 3. Cannot wait after these great weekend of hoops, football, everything.
But
that's a wrap from us.
Yep. Next Monday, next Wednesday.